Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. Thank you so much for checking this out, for being here. I absolutely could not do this without the support of many dear friends and people who participate with this, so welcome. We are looking at the week of June 19th, and I want to say happy June 19th to people, and also happy Father's Day, which was the 18th. Also a day that Saturn was square Neptune, so could leave people feeling a bit dreamy, not so practical, not so grounded. So if that was your Sunday, that could be a major factor why. And in terms of our week, we do have the solstice coming up, summer for those of us here in the northern hemisphere, obviously winter in the southern. And that occurs on the 21st in the late evening, for at least for the Midwest. You know, you can adjust accordingly from there. And Saturn has gone retrograde. I mentioned that last week. That stuff always feels a bit heavy to me. It is about power, how we relate to power, what we give power to in our lives, authority, discipline. And we've also got the Pluto retrograde now too. So because that one is in Capricorn, which was what Saturn rules, so these two things are very connected. You can see that they are playing off of each other. We also are backing up in this territory with both of them as we retrograde. You know, Saturn in Pisces, how do we discipline our spiritual natures? How do we bring some groundedness into our visionary selves? And then as Pluto, you know, retrogrades back into Capricorn, we have this, again, questioning of power, what we give power to, what we believe is an authority, things like that. So a lot of revisiting the territory that we have gone over in the early part of 2023 and somewhat the late part of 22. So if you seem to be revisiting things, that's that spiral energy. We make forward progress, but we can still end up visiting some of those same, could be issues, could be good things. Just, you know, reflect back on what you were doing late in 22 and early in 23, and some of those same things may occur, or at least give you a chance to reflect on them. For the rest of the year, or for most of it. Saturn will come back, start to station direct in early November, and then for Pluto, that won't be until early in 2024. Hard to even believe that date's coming up. So that's a lot already, but there's a little more. We're starting with the moon in Cancer on the 19th, on Juneteenth. And we will be in Libra, the moon in Libra, by the next weekend. So we're starting from a very heartfelt place in terms of being at home, wanting to be nurtured, wanting to nurture, spend time with family or, you know, people we love in general. And then by the time we get into Libra, you start to get away from the watery, more psychic energy into that mental energy. And Libra rules things like contracts, commitments with others. Not so much on the legal side, can be that, but more of our relationships with people, how we do commit to other people, like in marriages, partnerships, things like that. Can also be looking at ones that are outside of that realm as well. So that kind of gives us a heads up for the energies this week. In between that Cancer moon and the one in Libra, we will have Leo and Virgo. And so we get some of that fiery heart energy, and then some of that more grounded Virgo energy of the practical details. And then we move into the Libra with the relationships and the commitments. Our diplomacy is also ruled by Libra. All right, so for our actual week, and remember with all of this, take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. astrological charts, which we each have, are complicated things. There are lots of different energies affecting us. So just be open to your feelings, to what your intuition is saying to you, and then maybe you can see if some of that actually does resonate for you. So when we start on Monday, Juneteenth, we have the Three of Vessels, and I'm using the Wildwood Tarot. So the vessels are what you normally would think of as cups, or that water energy. Threes are very creative, and the subtitle on this one is joy. So what a nice energy to invite yourself to move into on that first Monday of our week. It could be getting together with three friends. There's often a feminine aspect to this card. Here, of course, we have these wonderful cranes doing a kind of joyful dance. So welcome that energy for your Monday. On Tuesday, we continue the energy with the vessels, the water, the cups energy, and the fives are all generally challenges. Here, our subtitle is ecstasy. So when I saw this right away, I felt, all right, we get through a challenge, maybe a disappointment, because that's one of the associations with this card in more, Americanized decks, and even some of the English one, and this is English in origin. But here you do see this person with the pentagram drawn. I don't know if you can see that, but that is, on the ground here. And then there are lit cups at each of the points on this pentagram. And a person doing a dance, eyes closed, connecting to the energies in the universe. And I think it's connecting to the subconscious, to the intuition, those energies that are more hidden. So interesting stuff to me for Tuesday. And can we take something that might have initially seemed to be a disappointment and learn to see it as something that can take us into a more ecstatic inner place. Wednesday, we get the first of the people or royal cards, and this one is the Queen of Stones. Obviously it's a bear, or maybe, that's hard to see, but I'm going to bring it a little closer for you. And stones are the earth energy, are what people often refer to in other decks as the discs or the pentacles. And this queen has the journey before her as a reflection. It's not I'm going there, it's I've been there. So with the earth energy, that's can be about accumulations, it can be about our wealth. I feel like there's a wisdom here. All the queens reflect some kind of wisdom that has been earned through that journey. And so I just love this picture of the bear looking out. To me, it seems like the sun might be going down. And what are these important places in life? What has that journey been? Where has it taken us? What have we nurtured? What have we created? Maybe what even have we accumulated? And what has all of this taught us? So Wednesday is a great day for that kind of reflective, earthy energy. And the word gratitude popped up there for me as well. So then on Thursday, we get another royal card, another people or court card. And this time we're switching energies in terms of the bearer of this, and that is the page. It's still the energy of the stones or the earth energy. But now we've come to the page, which often is the bearer of news. And this week we have two of these pages. We'll end on one as well. But when it brings us earthy news, I thought about potency and something that's incubating. I love the branches that are sort of behind and around our figure, a kind of lynx-like creature. And how is that teaching something about the inner workings? So what wants to be nurtured? What's coming up that would really like to be delved into and nurtured in your life? Something that's practical, tangible. And then on Friday, we switch to a minor again, and this is the Four of Bows, and bows represent wand energy or fire energy in the Wildwood Tarot. And this one is called Celebration, and that is more typical of what this card is associated with in many decks, that you'll often see a sort of structure that's created by the four wands, and often flowers or drapes of some sort that signify a kind of portal energy moving into a celebratory place. So wonderful. I, have no idea what that might be for people, but hopefully you find that and create your own celebration. Like I said, that is our Friday energy. And when we get to Saturday's energy, we are back to those stones, back to the earth energy, and this is the ace. So the aces are all associated with gifts, like the pages are associated with messages, messengers. Aces are with gifts, new revelations. Now this one is earthy, so it can be a very tangible kind of gift, can be a new start on something, feeling like you have foundation. And this one is also subtitled, move that finger there for you, The Foundation of Life. So I think that's so appropriate. And you've got a giant stone, and if you can get it close enough, you can see a sort of face there. It reminds me actually of the shape of the Venus of Willendorf, if you've ever seen that. A very rounded shape, very mothering, very nurturing kind of feel to it. I think that has as well. And then our weekends, next Sunday with another page. As I mentioned, we have two this time, and this one is the page of arrows. And this is the only arrow that came up this week. We only had two so-called masculine energies, that Four of Wands or Four of Bows here. And then in this case, that page of the arrows, so the sword or the mental energy. So this one often brings in like a shake-up of negative thought forms, news, what's happening, help me see things in a new way. And I like the color combos here. This one is a winter scene, and that mental energy often is associated with that winter kind of landscape, the north. Frequently there is an association of thoughts with that cold kind of energy as well. Though we have our sweet little wren bringing the news here. So be looking for some sort of news, be looking to shake up the mood, shifting into the energies that will come up for next week. So overall this week we have themes of strong feminine energy, of celebration, of ecstasy, really good things that might happen in small, quiet ways for people, because there are a lot of minor cards, like I said, a few of the court cards, but no majors for the week. So find those pleasures, those celebrations where you can. And I will also bring up our oracle card, and I'm using the sacred geometry. So many of these gifts, decks have been gifted to me. So thank you, part of my beloved circle out there, for this one. And the Wildwood, a gift from another friend. So here we have the tetrahedron, and these are numbered, so they're easier to find. So that one came up with the number 13. And I, first noticed when all the cards were laid, again, the strong feminine energy. And funnily enough, here we get a little bit of balance. And I thought about that too. I thought, okay, some balance needs to come in with that. And sure enough, it did. So, action is the subtitle in this one. The tetrahedron is one of 5 three-dimensional geometric shapes commonly called the Platonic solids. Each has equal angles, edges of equal length, and equal faces, and each would fit within a sphere. Within their structure, they hold cosmic truths. The tetrahedron is the simplest of these Platonic solids with 4 equal triangular faces. The tetrahedron speaks to the male side of your nature, and that's what I was mentioning. This is the place of action. This is the fire of ambition and the understanding that it will take to bring ideas and projects to fruition. So we need that receptive quality, that feminine quality of absorbing things, but then to put them out into the world, we need that more action, male-centered quality. So is there a project you have been considering or a decision you have been putting off? Very true for me. Now is the time to take action and initiate movement that will activate ideas and complete creative projects. If you are already actively engaged in this process, this card affirms your decision to act and supports the focus and passion that directs you upon this path. Simply remember to listen to your inner guidance and ensure that this action is not mere smoke and flames, but intentional movement towards your highest good. I love that part. I think that's so important, and it's a wonderful example of bringing into balance the masculine and the feminine, the receptive and the dynamic, and making it work for you, and creating good energies that can only be good for those around you as well. So I want to say thank you again and ask you, please, please, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing to help me grow this, to help me reach more people. And I wish you all an absolutely beautiful week, beloveds. Let me know if you have questions or, want more focus on astrology or anything like that. So take care. See you next week.